If you're one of the puppies who thinks hill is the key to winning on Himmelsdorf, shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. I'm going to teach you how to actually win on this map. So, in this game, I'm in my WZ132. This is quite possibly the worst matchmaking situation you can have for a light tank. And I'm not going to play hill. I know, it's a terrible thing. You know, hill wins the game on Himmelsdorf, according to all the popular YouTubers and whatnot. But I'm actually going to show you how games actually play out and how they're actually won. So, what I do typically on this map is I'm into the middle. I'm obviously trying to get shots on people as they drive into position, find out where they're going, etc, etc. Looking at our map, you can see we're really strong on the 1, 2, and 3 line. We have nothing on the 8 line, and we have 4 tanks on the 0 line. Now, the way this map works is typically, regardless of the enemy tank, they will generally play hill. So I would expect about 8 tanks of the enemy to be on the hill generally. And so what you're going to find is when you play the hill, it actually takes forever to successfully win that side of the map. And the key to winning in this game is quite often speed. So by going to the hill, if you're, one of those people who do that, you're going to find that you spend forever there. And if any other side of the map is pushed, so for example, in this case, we're going to push the train tracks, you're going to find yourself having to go back to base and try to, defend the cap while they're in defensive positions and protecting the cap circle that they're on. So in this case, that's what we're going to do to them. I would say this is a very consistent strat, and we're just going to make it work. So I'm in my tier 8 light tank. Obviously, I'm just going to keep pushing through because we need to get on cap. They're going to win the hill. But you're going to notice, because they're playing the tracks, they actually can't do very much from the hill. So they're sort of just stuck up there, and they're going to be able to do nothing for quite some time. Now, as I predicted, they've got 6, 7, 8, 9 tanks. They've got a ton of tanks up on the hill. Those tanks are going to be doing nothing for a significant portion of the battle. Meanwhile, we're pushing into their top tier tanks, and we're going to be able to kill their 57, their 183, and potentially the IS-7 as well. So I'm just going to keep pushing this. I know we have an advantage on this side. As a light tank, you want to try to lead the charge. Obviously, for example, when people are looking at you like this 57, you have to be cautious. But the key here is speed. So you can see our heavies are holding them up on the hill. We've got a mouse and a couple mediums who are going back to defend the base. We need to kill this 57 and this 183 very quickly so we can get on cap. And the thing is, it's not capping to cap out, it's capping to draw them back to the base. So they're on the hill. They only have 2 options to attack the cap circle. You're going to see once we push into the 57, they're going to be scrambling back to base because we've got our base covered and there's really nothing they can do. Even though they won the hill, they're not going to win this game because we have their cap circle. And there's nothing the hill can do about that. So the goal right here is going to be to kill this IS-7, kill the 54E1. We're going to get on cap, not to cap out to win, but to draw them back and then farm them for damage. So that's my mindset anyways. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm safe from the hill right now. If there's anyone trying to reset me, they're going to have to come down all the way. They've sort of pushed into our base, but we've already got 2 on cap, and it's very easy for us to put a 3rd if we really need to. The game appears to be close, but it really isn't. We have the advantage right now. The 54A1 appears to be reloading. We're in no rush because we have the situation under control right here. I finish off the 54E1. Looking at our base, we've easily got that. It's a 5v5 and we have a mouse, so I'm not too worried about that. You can see in chat there were people saying Hill wins game and whatnot, and everyone's saying it's luck and all that, but the reality is, because of the popular YouTubers spreading this message that Hill wins the game, people value the hill too much. There's a lot more to this game than just the hill. So you're going to notice they had technically the most overpowered tanks in the most overpowered positions. And sure, it's a close game, but because we took advantage of the side that we had the advantage on, so the tracks in this case, we were able to forfeit the hill, but we still made it work. So there's that. I'm just going to push up and get damage because we get off cap, and that's the game. So I'm going to go into a map tactic and explain why this works. The key here is speed. If you're not going to play the hill, if you're on a Himmelsdorf and you cannot win the hill, you need to be quick about pushing the tracks, because otherwise the hill is sort of a better position, but it's not as advantageous. You can still make it work if you don't win the hill. So I'm making this video so people stop, hopefully they'll stop crying in chat and give up before the game even starts. So yeah, let's go take a look at the map tactic and then the end plates. Alrighty, so the way that we played this map is basically I just went to the middle, did my typical stuff where I shoot down the middle road and farm people, find out where they're going and whatnot. In this case, we had the advantage, you know, our Unicum platoon went to this side of the map and they were able to push down. So what I did is I joined them. You always want to be with the majority of your team, especially if you're in a supporting tank. And effectively, we sort of just lemming trained down here. A lot of people say, oh, when you've got your whole team that goes one direction, it's an automatic loss. And that's sort of true. You have to keep them pushing. So in this case, we had good players. I didn't really need to take the charge, but I sort of did. And we were able to push down into their base. And then suddenly when you're on the cap right here, this hill becomes fucking useless. So the way this map works is it's all about speed. You want to be playing the side that you can win the fastest, because even if your plan isn't to like cap out to win, the second you put one guy on cap, they have to start rushing down like this. And I mean, it's really easy just to have a tank here and a tank here and really fuck them up. So it's the same situation for this road too. Like, it's very hard to reset the cap on this map. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're on Himmelsdorf and your team is not going to win the hill, personally, I never go hill, but if you're one of the players who really feels comfortable on the hill and your team isn't going to win the hill, you want to be pushing the other sides of the map instead of waiting for them to get above you and whatnot, because the second you sort of get out of this middle square here, the hill becomes really useless. So you can use these buildings and whatnot for cover. You can cap out. Being aggressive on this map gives you a whole lot of options that otherwise you wouldn't have. And it really closes down the hills. So that's just my experience. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt. I'm only as good as I am, and I only have the experiences that I do. So I'm here to share them with you. Oh, that rhyme. I should be a rapper. Fuck. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. Let's go look at the end plates. The key here is not you haven't lost the game if you can't win the hill. You need to push another side, and this is the case for every single map in the game. If you look at fucking, I just picked a map at random. If they're pushing down one side, you need to clear out this side so you can use the tracks to defend the cap and whatnot. And I mean, on this map, this position is really strong for doing that. But you can't be surrounded. So in this case, if they were to push down the one line, you'd want to clear this out and then take advantage of the map that's given to you. Obviously, you can't cap out on this map, but on basically every single map, the game works like this. So let's go look at the let's go look at the end plates. Alrighty, so as you can see, absolutely fantastic result. This is probably one of the greatest games of my life. 2400 damage, which is definitely a record for me. 1600 experience with a premium account, which is just unbelievable. In the end, I did where did I come on the top on the team for XP. Good job, me. +1. Unicum, good job. 2400 damage, 2 kills, 1103 base XP, and a mastery badge, 2nd class somehow. I would have assumed that would be a first, but whatever. In the end, we made a whopping negative 41,000 credits, because light tanks as tier 9 tanks are absolutely great, and you can just totally, the pen is good enough, you can just shoot AP in them. So yeah, that's why I made such a profit. Anyways, joking aside, I really hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching. The key again is just speed. If you can't win the hill, hopefully hopefully no one took offense to my video or whatever. It's just a joke. But if you can't win the hill, there's plenty of other options on this map. Jingles and Quickie, other YouTubers have given this idea that hill wins the game, and it used to be true. The reason this used to be true is because the hill used to be, you used to be able to win this quickly. What would happen is the heavy puppies would go to Tank Alley, they'd brawl it out, they'd take forever, and you'd be able to push the hill and get behind them. Now 800 tanks go hill, and when you have a brawl that's like so full and clogged up of fucking puppies who just camp and sit back here, and then you've got the exact same. So here we've got another 14 puppies who are just doing nothing. It leaves the whole rest of the map open, and so this becomes the choke point. It used to be that Tank Alley was the choke point and nothing would get done there, but recently you're able to push pretty much every other side except hills. So for aggressive players who are looking to win more often, I really wouldn't suggest playing on the hill, because this shit just doesn't work if you only care about wins. It sort of makes sense if you're going for win 8. It makes sense to go where the enemies are going to go, But even then, I still get better results when I'm 3 marking tanks by just not going hill and shooting them in the sides from here. So, again, hopefully this video was helpful. No intention to insult anyone by the way I made this video. It's just a joke. It's just a prank. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Just as an excuse to make this video 10 minutes long, and also like quench all the questions I'm gonna get about my crew setup and whatnot. I'm gonna make a couple second segment right here. So here's my crew setup. I'm not gonna go in depth about it or anything, but pause the video if you want to see the skills I use. Yeah, this is where you'd probably want to pause the video. Pretty much everything self-explanatory. Obviously, you do actually want repairs on light tanks for those of you who are interested. And that's my WZ132 crew. As far as equipment and whatnot goes, V-stab, rammer, and vents. I don't run optics on light tanks because combined with food, you can see I've still got 445 meters view range. So food, BIA, and vents gives you enough view range. Scouting isn't really practical on a lot of these maps. So for the majority of maps, I feel like my setup's really good. When it comes to ammo for light tanks, the thing is, tier 8 light tanks are tier 9 tanks. And they've got 1,000 hit points and tier 7 tank pens. So you can see right here, 189 millimeters. That's slightly more than the IS or the IS-6, which is a Pref 8. So I feel like when you've got 43 shells only, and you've only got 244 millimeters on your gold ammo, it's way safer just to carry full gold. So obviously this is like a rich kid setup or whatever, but this is how I run my light tanks, and hopefully that answers some questions. So if you ask me in the questions how I set this tank up, I'm just gonna put this timestamp down, and I'll respond with this timestamp. So yeah, bye bye.